Hello, this is Wayman Jackson, author of the Sword of the Spirit series. I'm addressing some questions about the topic in the Sword of the Spirit and the Shadow of Death. The topic is, can Satan ask for permission to mess with people? The answer to that question is yes. In the Bible, in Job chapter 1, 6 through 8, God is having a meeting with his angels and Satan shows up. Satan asks, or rather, God asks if you consider his servant Job. And Satan replied with, "You're protecting him. How can I touch him?" And God gives him permission to mess with Job. And again, in the book of Luke, Satan asks the Father to sift Peter like wheat. But Jesus said he prayed for Peter that his faith would remain strong. And again, in the book of Revelation, Jesus is talking to one of the churches in one of the letters, and he's saying that Satan is going to test people by throwing people in jail, but that their faith will remain strong. So, in the book, In the Shadow of Death, the premise is Satan asks, first he asks to kill Hezekiah, the spirit warrior, in which case God gives him a vague answer. But then he asks to kill Faith Parker instead. God says yes, and the story continues on from there. And I write that to say this. In reality, Satan does ask for the life of people. He does. Sometimes God says no, sometimes God says yes. But ultimately, the reason why God allows this is not for Satan's benefit. It's to strengthen us and to test us. When we're here in this world, especially if we're a follower of Christ, a lot of what we go through, a lot of the trials, the tribulations, the sicknesses, the diseases, everything, including this virus that's going around now, a lot of it is to see if A, will remain faithful, and B, it's a chance for us to grow. And there are many other reasons besides A and B. For the non-believer, a lot of the times while they go through stuff and why God allows Satan to mess with them is really so they can be drawn back to God. Because ultimately, without God, we're all sinful and we're all destined to be destroyed anyway because of the fall of man, because of Adam. But because of Jesus, we all may be saved. Sometimes it takes pain for us to really be drawn back to God. I mean, we wish that weren't the case, but that problem isn't from God, it's from us. And sometimes it takes pain for us to actually look up. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is true. If we're going through life, everything is fine. A lot of the times we won't look up. If there's no sick ones in the hospital, like I've had to experience, if there's nothing like that, we won't look up. We won't pray. We won't ask God for help. We won't ask for a higher power. We'll just continue with our lives thinking we are the answer to our own problems, when in reality we're not. And that is why God allows Satan to ask for people. It's not for his benefit. In the end, it's for ours, so that we may be drawn closer to God, and so that we may ask God for help and get saved in our time of need.